Gentlemen, we're here, and it is now time to pick up the reins and choose our destiny so that we are able to do things that we never thought was possible. I want you guys to take a look at the events that are going on around the world and say to yourself, I am bigger than my circumstances. I am ready to take control. There is no time like the present, so let's do this. Now, if you guys take a look, you will see that there are certain things going on the screen right now. And the reason why these are on the screen is because this is going to be one of the most relevant things that you will ever see. You see a bunch of people who are doing one of the most necessary things on the planet, and that is consuming food. Where would we be without consuming food? Well, let me tell you guys. In order for you to live, to survive, to sustain, to thrive, you need sustenance. You need nutrients, you need food, you need drink. Whatever it is that's your favorite flavor, that's really up to you, but in general, we do need to eat, we do need to drink, and that's why you see that there are certain things that are going on. Now, if you take a look at some of these videos, take a look here. You can see that a lot of these videos have 1 million. There's one right here for 6.6 thousand. There's one that has 12 million. It really all depends, and this is the thing, is people are gonna have their own little different ways of selecting what it is that they wanna view depending on what it is that they're looking at. But as they get to know these individuals who are reviewing food and doing their ASMR, they decide to go and look at other videos, and that's the tides always go where the tides are gonna go. But people are going to be interested in what other people are eating. And the reason why they're going to be interested in what other people are eating is because, one, they have an interest in the people who are doing the eating. So there's something about these people that have brought the interest out in them, whether it's the way that they dress, the way that they talk, the way that they look, the way that they act. Something about these people makes people want to go check it out. But the even bigger picture on this is that people who typically look at food reviewers, food critiques, or foodies is because they want to know what's the scoop on certain foods. It's kind of like with anything, is if you go and you see like a new product, whether it's a new game, a new appliance, electronics, clothing, you name it, people want to see what these things are like, but they don't want to have to invest in something that can be a bad investment. And what I mean by that is, imagine you're the type of person who sees on on TV, you see somebody wearing a certain coat. Maybe it's a pea coat, maybe it's a blazer, maybe it's a crop top. It could be anything, and you see it on a certain person, and then you decide, okay, well that looks really really cool. I think that that might actually look really good on me. You go buy it, and then when you get it, either one, the item doesn't look the same as what you thought it would look like, or two, it doesn't look the same on you as it did on that person. There's many different reasons as to why this is, but it still gives people kind of an idea as to what it is that they can expect when they're investing or buying into a certain item. Okay? So now I want to talk to my gig workers, my people out there who are putting in the work. They're helping people get a lot of different things, whether that's giving them different rides, whether that's delivering food to them. There's a whole bunch of different gigs that you can get into. But I want to speak today about the hidden talent that all food delivery drivers or food delivery service workers have that they do not know about. Now, some people are going to know about this, but very few people really understand the value of it, and that's why I really want to bring home the value of what this is and why it is that many of us are missing out on this this very big opportunity, and like pretty much the sky's the limit. This isn't something that you know is going to be oversaturated, really, because there's always going to be people who are going to want to eat. That's just the thing. It's one of the things that we do as humans. So until people don't need to eat anymore, this is always going to be a thing. But at the same time, because of the different personalities, because of the different ways that people relate to different things, each individual person who reviews food is going to have a different impact on certain people. There are some people who are going to watch tons and tons of foodies. They'll watch maybe 10, maybe 100, maybe 1,000 different foodies. It really doesn't matter because they just want to see how it is that people are reacting in certain videos. Now, if you know certain people who are doing these things, then you might watch their channel because you know them. There might be some people who you watch them because you don't know them. You want to see what other people are like without certain biases or whatever. But again, we want to bring home the value of why it is that you as a food delivery person need to get in on this market. Okay, so anything that you anything that makes you money requires a certain level of skill. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. You can say you can think of anything and be like, okay, well yeah, I just got paid to sit around, but really everything and anything requires skill. Otherwise, they wouldn't pay you to do it. There's a reason why you're getting paid to do it. Whether that's because somebody just doesn't want to do it, like maybe they have more important things that they need to take care of. They 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 know that you either have better skills at it or you are able to do it to a capacity where helping them helps the business or whatever the case may be. It's just in general everything is skill based. The higher the skill, the bigger the potential to make money becomes. Okay, so the people who have the bigger skills are more likely to make more money because of the fact that they having higher skills makes them more valuable in a lot of cases. Now you can be overqualified in certain things. That's why you want to be able to, kind of gauge where it is that you fit. But when you are your own boss, and in this case, if you're a delivery driver, you're basically your own boss. I mean, the only boss you really have is the customer. But even then, pretty much you're your own boss because you decide when it is. Well, I guess it really depends on the platform. But if you're doing it the way that needs to be done, you pretty much have a lot of say in terms of what it is that you do with your work. I prefer to be able to work where I want when I want, so for me, delivering on Uber Eats is one of the best ways to do that because of the fact that you can drive to a location. It's not like you have a specific location you have to stay in. It's not as if you have to have a certain amount of hours you have to work minimum or you have to work during a certain schedule. You get to pick these things, and this is the reason why it's so powerful. It's because being able to take control of how it is that you work puts you in such a high position, and we're gonna go a little bit into that in this video, but overall I still want to hit home that hidden talent that you have as a delivery driver. Okay, now most people who deliver food, they know how to drive. In order to know how to drive, you have to have a certain skill. I remember when I was younger, the first time I went go-karting was like to me it was easily one of the most fun times I ever had. But my first experience actually go-karting wasn't actually driving a go-kart. It was playing Nintendo 64 and it was playing Super Mario 64 or Mario Kart 64. Sorry. And I know that there's other games. There's Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, and things of that nature. I never played that. I played, or I didn't at least play that until after the 64. But that was my first experience in go karting, and it was a lot of fun. It was tons of fun. I used to hang out with friends. We'd always go over to a certain friend's house, and then we'd go and do multiplayer and go against each other, or do battle royale where we'd we'd really be actually trying to take each other out. But it was all good and fun, right? And then eventually I got to the age. I think it wasn't too much longer after that, but I got to the age where I was able to actually go out and try delivering sorry, not delivering, driving an actual go-kart. And the first time I ever got in a go-kart, it was nerve-wracking. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was scared because when you're not used to certain things, it can be kind of scary. You've never driven, you don't know what to expect. You're hearing all these crazy motor sounds and all this other stuff. There's tons of people around you, all this stuff. But when I finally ended up doing what it is I had to do, it ended up being tons of fun, and I was hooked ever since. Now, one of the reasons why I still love go karting is the fact that I actually don't go that often, and because I don't go that often, I guess it makes it that much more special when I do go and do it. So one of the places that I went, the last place that I actually went go-karting was in Niagara Falls at the Niagara Speedway, and one of the reasons why I went there is because of the fact that it actually reminds me very much of Mario Kart 64. The actual racetrack is pretty much like one of at least one of the battle royale. I think it's two of them are kind of similar to the battle royale in Mario Kart 64, and it's easily one of my favorite games for Nintendo 64, but also just in general, it's one of my favorite games. Okay, so that's my whole thing. But as you know, if you've ever driven a go kart and if you've ever driven a car, they're actually quite a bit different. So if you expect to, have the same experience driving a go kart as you do driving in a car, it's not the same thing. In fact, if you drive around enough, then it'll become easier the more you do it. The bigger vehicles you use, the easier it is to drive the smaller vehicles. But then you also get to see a lot of the certain things that happen in traffic that make you know that it's very very different from having to know how to 3-point turn, from having to know how to parallel park, how to reverse, how to how to how to get onto a highway or freeway. Like there's all types of different dynamics that come with driving in a car that's different than a go-kart. But I digress. So yes, it does take skill to be somebody who delivers food because typically you need to drive. Now, there are options where you can use a moped. I think in certain countries, so it really depends on your market, but in certain countries you can use a motorcycle, but you have your mopeds you can use. If you have your own personal moped, you can use that. You can use a bike, you can use an e-scooter, and you can walk. So there's many different ways that you can deliver food, and each has its, it's got its pros and cons depending on what it is you want to do. If you want to get a lot more orders, then having a vehicle that can travel larger distances is gonna get you more more trips, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna be getting some of the best trips because you may end up going and delivering something in an area that has a lot less of a payout. Like maybe the order that you get close to or the place that you get close to gives you an order that doesn't pay you out that much, or the next person doesn't tip that big. And we can also get into what what really triggers customers to want to tip more. Like I've I've done it for quite a bit of time, so I have quite a fair experience in doing deliveries. Customers want to tip you. The vast majority of customers want to tip you. If they don't tip you, then there's usually a reason. It's usually a pretty good reason. There's going to be some people who they might have some haterade in their game, but most people they want to tip you. Okay, but again, I want to hit home. It's skill based, which means the more you learn, the higher the skill level you have is the more you're able to move. You have more options. You won't be stressing out as to why it is certain things are happening if you know more. And then if you know more, then you can get active in finding solutions or using solutions to make your situation a lot better. Okay, so one of the ways that you can actually upgrade your skills when it comes to delivering food is take a page out of the book of people who work at restaurants. So you have your hostesses and hostesses, or you have your hostesses and hosts. You have your waiters and waitresses. People like this typically are the ones who are given tips, and there's reasons why they're given tips. It's not just as simple as because they are there, they just get tips, because that's actually not the case. And if once you get inside some of these fields, you get to notice that it's not as cut and dry as you just getting tips. So there's reasons why these people get tips. So I recommend that you go and you check out. There's plenty of YouTube channels where there's people who work as or they work in these type of jobs, and they give tips on how it is that they make tips, um, you know what it is that they do when they're dressing, all these type of things, and you can incorporate that into your game. And I guarantee you, if you do enough searching, you're gonna end up finding some tips within some of those videos that's going to really elevate your game and allow you to get a lot more tips. I actually started off learning how to make really really good tips in this game because I did quite a bit of research before I got into it. I wasn't kind of like forced into the situation per se. Is I did about 6 months worth of research just to find out a whole bunch of things, and during the 6 months, like I could have easily found out what I needed to find out, like without doing the whole 6 months. But the 6 months really, really kind of like hit home, like what it is that I needed to figure out. Started making things click and connect. So that's what I did, and I ended up figuring out a bunch of stuff. So like making tips was never really a big issue for me, and it's just because of those reasons. But that's one of the ways that I found out how to make it work is by going and looking at people who are in that type of industry that makes tips. Okay. Now, again, let's get back to the skill that everybody who is in this game has, but they don't really look into. When you do anything for business purposes, those business purposes, like say if it actually has to do with your business, so something that's supposed to make you money, there are certain benefits to doing things with a business purpose. So one of the reasons why it is that if you're not already currently aware of this, if you drive for Uber Eats, then some of the benefits that you have is you're able to relieve some of your tax burdens when it comes to actually driving. So that could mean payments on a car, that could be the cost of a car, that could be gas, that could be repairs. It can be a whole bunch of things that involve that. But the reason why there are benefits you know, to taxes when it comes down to Uber in that respect is because you're using a car in that respect, or you're using something else. Again, you can use your moped, you can use a bike. These are business expenses though. You're using these things for business. So if you repair your bike so that you can go and do delivery by bike, that's a business expense because that's how you conduct your business. If you need to get your tires changed or an oil change or things of this nature. Now, there's a whole bunch of things, so you obviously want to go and speak with your accountant so that you really know what's best for your situation, because you don't want to just go around thinking that, okay, let me just go and take off everything. There's a whole bunch of stuff about that, but speak with your accountant so you really figure out what works best for you. But this is one of the things I want to hit home. So again, if you're sitting in your vehicle all day, or if you're delivering all day, and you have access to the ideas of what food brings to the table, then why would you not want to also be able to take advantage of being able to eat and having it as a business expense? Why would you not want to do that? Now, you're going to, in this case, you're going to have to pay up front, so you're actually going to have to buy the food. It's not as if the food is just out there for free, at least not to begin with. But as you know, as you go inside your game, you may be able to get sponsorships. You start figuring out more and more things as to how to make it work, and then you might be able to be able to eat for free on a more regular basis. But you go you go on your lunch break, you go on your dinner break, you go on your breakfast, whatever it is you do, and as you are eating, you're going to be recording yourself and you're giving your take on what it is you like, what it is you don't like. You don't have to do either or, but you're just giving kind of your look. Some people, what they do is they do ASMR videos where they're just enjoying the food and people enjoy that they're enjoying their food. You're doing videos on food, and by doing that, you're becoming a foodie. Now, when you first become a foodie, so that you have like kind of like a bearing as to where to start, take a tally of the different foods that you end up delivering. So get yourself a tally of a good, do the tally for, maybe it depends on how much you do, but get like a good 10 deliveries going on at least, so you can kind of get like an average of what it is that people have, and hopefully you get like a good enough range that you have at least two or three different places that people are ordering from. As long as you have at least two or three different places that people are ordering from, then you'll kind of get to see if you have all the same places, it'll kind of work for you, but not everybody's always going to eat at these places. But once you get a tally, you can kind of know what it is that people eat. So if you notice that you're getting a lot of orders from McDonald's, and it just so happens that, you know, five out of the 12 people that you deliver to that got McDonald's, they get McChicken. What you want to do then is you want to go and get yourself a McChicken. Does that mean you have to go get a McChicken? No, because maybe you don't like McChicken. Maybe you don't feel like getting McChicken. Just giving you a place of bearing as to where it is that you can start. If you choose to do this, go get yourself a McChicken and then do a video on it. After you do the video, by this time you obviously want to have your YouTube channel set up and everything. But after you do the video on the McChicken, people who want to see your take, which are going to be people who are going to be in that space, so you're gonna be doing some networking. You're gonna go to other people who who do the same type of thing. So you're gonna go to some of these same videos, and you can go into their video specifically, and then look inside the comment section and see what other people are saying. And all you have to do is interact with some of these people. By interacting with these people, you're going to give them kind of a taste of what your personality is like. And then if they're interested, which most of the time they will be if you interact with them, they're going to go check out what your channel has to offer. When they see that you have a video that's showing what it is that you're eating, then that gives them an opportunity to engage in your channel. By doing this, you can grow a pretty big following, and the people who like what it is you bring to the table, they're going to engage in your content. And this is exactly how you do it. As you grow more and more, then you can introduce certain things. You can actually start this from day one, but you're going to need to engage with quite a few people before you start to see some of the benefits. But becoming a foodie is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because once you become an authority where people really value what it is that you bring to the table, they might start making recommendations on, okay, well, I was thinking of trying this, or you should try this thing. And when you get those recommendations, one of the easiest ways to grow is by using those recommendations to create content. You create content, more people will want to follow you, and then they're more likely to share, which is going to bring more like-minded people who are going to support you. Okay? As you do these things, you can get sponsorships, you can get promotions, you can get all types of things, because being a value of showing what it is that other people like, there's going to be brands that are going to want to get their items in front of you. And this is basically how you become an influencer. It's basically one of the easiest cheat codes of becoming an influencer. And influencers are the ones who get a lot of the opportunities to make money just by doing videos. Okay, so that's basically what you want to do. This is the hidden gem that a lot of people don't necessarily know, I guess, too much about, but this is what you guys should be doing. Especially if you're seeing, sometimes my days are kind of slow and I don't really know if I'm making too much money. I'll give you another pretty big hint. Uber is an awesome platform. No matter how many, situations that you might think there's something that, I wish this didn't happen, and I wish that didn't happen. I didn't make enough money here. The tips aren't good. Even if that happens, and for some people it doesn't happen, again, like I said, that didn't happen for me because I did a bunch of research on how to relate Uber to a lot of other jobs, and then finding out how those successes can complement my experience in Uber. So for me, it wasn't that thing. But for those who find that, just know that Uber, again, it's another way that you have to look at your experience. So if you're delivering with Uber Eats, or if you're delivering with anything, use it as a gateway. Use it as an opportunity to find opportunities within opportunities. For example, if being a foodie is your business, hint, 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 your business, then you can use the time that you spend on Uber, and you can use that as a way to market your business. So if people are already buying food from you, you can offer them a way to see your take on what are good foods, what are foods that they may enjoy. If you do a review, then that can either save them time, or that can make them motivated to want to go and try these foods. And if they end up finding that your review was good enough that it made them want to eat what it is that you ate, then they'll want to come back and see more of what it is that you're reviewing. And you just keep perpetuating The same thing. You provide value, they provide value. You provide value, they provide value. And that's really what the game of money's always been about, is finding opportunities within opportunities. A lot of businesses, the reason why they're able to thrive is because of the fact that what you see isn't necessarily exactly what it is. So like let's say for example, you find out there's a promotion going on at a certain store. The promotion might be one of the best prices you ever had. If you go down to your local grocery store and you see that they have bananas for I don't know 29 cents a pound or something like that. The price is so good that a ton of people are going to want to go and get that, right? But most people who go for promotions don't just go and buy promotions. They go see a promotion, but then they see other things that they also either want to buy or they need to buy. It's the same type of thing. If you have a business, what you want to do is you want to use Uber as a way to introduce your business to people. You don't want to push it on them. You can do it actually very, very easily, and I'll leave some links in the description as to how it is that you can actually do that, because you don't want to spend too much time having too big of conversations with customers. You have other things that you need to do, and some of those things that you need to do is to plan out how it is you're going to be promoting certain things. But as long as you're not being too pushy, you give them kind of like a little bit of a treat. That the one of the most powerful tricks that I learned from waiters and waitresses that were making a bunch of tips is that if you give the customer a gift, whatever it is, I had certain gifts that I would give to customers, and again, if you guys want to know more about that, just leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know if you want to know more about this. But I'd give them a gift because that specific gift had value to them. They were more likely to tip, right? Another way you can look at it is that if you give them a gift that provides value, maybe for instance, people in a certain area are likely to have certain events happen. Like let's say for example, you heard about I don't know, a certain area had a flooding or something of that nature. Just recently there was a big flooding that happened in a certain area, and it just so happens that you deliver in that area now. Maybe the flood is all over with, but there's a bunch of things that people need, and they either don't have the skills for it, or they're weighing their options, things like that. But it just so happens that are either you either work as a full time or maybe a side gig, as you do home repairs, you do plumbing, you do whatever your business is that provides value to their specific situation. Well, kind of the same way that you see in newspapers, they have coupons and things of that nature that bring you out to go find out about, the 29-cent banana promotion, or whatever it is. That's the exact same thing that you can do. Is you can give them a gift, aka coupon book, promotion, pamphlet, flyer, whatever it is that needs to be, so that they can make the decision that they want to indulge in your service. And why are they going to indulge in your service? Because you provided them with a good service to begin with. You weren't concerned about making a ton of money off the delivery. You weren't concerned about making a bunch of tips. Why? Because even if you don't make a bunch on the front end, which means you don't make a bunch by doing that delivery, the value you ended up giving them is going to make them want to invest in you and help you get money in a different way. So, okay, they provided me a good service. I want to see what their service is like in X, Y, and Z scenario that I'm having right now. I have this problem. They helped me with one problem, which was my hunger. They brought it to me in a timely manner. It was all in one piece. It was hot when it was supposed to be hot. It was cold when it was supposed to be cold. What can they do for this water damaged drywall that I have? What can they do for this this loud pipe, this loud sound that's coming through the pipes that I have? And it doesn't even have to be that situation. There may be many different things that you have that are of value to people as a service. You either do them as your own personal business, or you have access to people who do it as a personal business, and you have partnerships with them, whatever the case may be. By doing that, you're able to provide value to them, and then if you provide enough value, they will pay you for it. That's the whole thing. Is People don't value money the same way that you think that they value. They value the things that money can bring, aka people who have money, they're going to spend their money where they want to spend it. If they value if they value a certain thing that you're not providing, then they're going to go and spend the money somewhere else. If they value something that you are providing, they're going to spend the money with you. Cut and dry. That's it. That's all. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next video.